I was pouring coffee in my Boulder condo when the doorbell rang like a gunshot through my quiet Saturday morning. I knew before I even looked through the peephole who it would be. Some ghosts were the same disappointed faces forever. My name is Sage Harper, and for 31 years I was the daughter who never made waves. The one who fixed problems, swallowed insults, and paid her own way through everything: college, heartbreak, life. Because asking my parents for help was like asking a brick wall for a hug. Growing up in Colorado Springs, our house smelled like motor oil and my mom Valerie's watercolor paints. My little sister Lily was the sun. I was the reliable moon nobody noticed until they needed light to find something. When I got accepted into CU Boulder's engineering program, I thought finally, they'd see me. I ran inside waving the letter like a winning lottery ticket. Mom barely glanced up from her easel. Dad grunted. "That's great, kid, but you're an adult now. We're not taking on debt for anybody." Builds grit. Grit. That word became my unwanted tattoo. So I worked. Midnight shifts at the campus dining hall, weekends bartending downtown, summers fighting wildfires for hazard pay. My grandparents, Ruth and Walt, were the only ones who showed up with a check and 0 lectures. "Education isn't charity, sweetheart," Grandpa Walt said as we signed the private loan papers. "It's oxygen." I graduated top of my class, landed a 6-figure remote job in aerospace cybersecurity, bought a condo with Rocky Mountain views, and convinced myself the past was buried under new flooring and a 401k. Then Mom and Dad showed up asking for 80 grand to cover the destination wedding Lily had already booked in Costa Rica. Flights, villas, fireworks, the works. Because the groom's family expects a certain level of elegance, Sage. I laughed so hard I had to sit down. They thought I was having a breakdown. That was the moment the girl who never rocked the boat decided to burn the whole marina down. They sat on my gray linen couch, looking like they'd rehearsed this pitch in the car. Mom twisted her rings. Dad stared at my TV like it owed him money. "It's not just a wedding," Mom started, voice honeyed and trembling. "It's Lily's future. We've already put deposits down. If we cancel now, we lose everything." Dad jumped in. "You're doing well, Sage. You can write this off as a gift. Family helps family." Family. The word tasted like rust in my mouth. The same family that let me eat ramen for 4 years, so I wouldn't learn helplessness. The same family that threw a parade when Lily got engaged after dating the guy for 5 months. The same family that still introduced me as our serious one, like it was a personality flaw. I asked the question I already knew the answer to. So when I needed $15,000 a year for tuition, debt was a moral failing. But 80 grand for a 4-day party in the jungle is suddenly an investment in love. Mom's eyes filled with practiced tears. That was different. School was your responsibility. I felt the old familiar rage rise, hot and clean. "No," I said quietly. "It was your choice." They left angry. The text started immediately. "Aunt Claire. Your mother is crying herself to sleep. Have a heart. Cousin Mason. Cold move, Sage. Real cold." Then one from an unknown number. "This is Ethan, Lily's fiancé. Refusing to help is creating unnecessary stress for everyone. Please reconsider." I blocked them all, poured a glass of wine, and stared at the mountains until the sky went violet. For the first time in my life, no didn't feel like betrayal. It felt like breathing. 3 days of silence. Then 4. On the 5th morning, I dug out the folder I never open. Loan statements, pay stubs from when I made $8.75 an hour, a photo of me asleep on a library table with a textbook for a pillow. I drove to my grandparents' house in Golden. Grandma Ruth took one look at me and pulled me into the kitchen. I told them everything. Grandpa Walt listened, jaw tight, then said the sentence that freed me. "You don't owe them your future because they shortchanged your past." That night I drafted the message I never sent. Instead, I waited. They came back on a Sunday, unannounced, carrying guilt like a battering ram. Mom marched in first, Dad behind her like backup muscle. "We're not leaving until you agree," Mom announced. I smiled, actually smiled, and it scared them more than shouting ever could. "Let me make this simple," I said. "You taught me that wanting more than you can pay for is shameful. Congratulations. Your lesson stuck." Dad's face reddened. This is about your sister's happiness. No. Ian Shuarat. This is about your pride. And I'm done renting mine out. Mom reached for my hand. I stepped back. You don't get to touch me with the same hands that pushed me off the cliff, and then asked me to fly back with money for parachutes. The doorbell rang. We all froze. I opened it. Lily stood there alone, no makeup, hair in a messy bun, wearing an old college hoodie. She looked small. Can I come in? She asked me, not them. Mom started crying instantly. Dad tried to usher Lily to their side like a hostage negotiation. Lily held up a hand. Stop. Please. She faced me. I heard what you said to them last week. Every word. And you're right. I've been awful to you. I liked being the favorite because it meant I never had to look at what it cost you. Her voice cracked. I don't want a wedding that makes my sister hate me. I already have everything I need. She gestured vaguely toward the hallway where Ethan waited out of sight. We're canceling Costa Rica. We're getting married in Grandma Ruth's backyard next month. I want you there. Not as an ATM. As my sister. I studied her face for the old smirk, the hidden barb. It wasn't there. Mom sobbed louder. Dad looked like he'd been punched in the soul. Lily kept going. I'm sorry, Sage. For every Thanksgiving I ruined, every eye roll. Every time I let them choose me over you. I'm sorry. Something in my chest that had been clenched since I was 12 finally loosened. I'll be there, I said. She hugged me, awkward, quick reel, and left with Ethan's arm around her shoulders. Mom and Dad stood in my living room looking suddenly old. We'll figure something out, Dad muttered. Yes, I said. You will. They left without another word. 5 weeks later I stood barefoot in Grandma Ruth's wildflower meadow while Lily married Ethan under a simple wooden arch Walt built himself. There were 40 people, mismatched chairs, grocery store cake, and more love than any resort could fake. Mom and Dad came. They sat in the back row holding hands like teenagers, eyes red. When Lily asked who gave her away, she looked straight at me. I walked her down the grassy aisle while fireflies blinked on like applause. Later, over pie, Mom found me by the lilac bushes. We were wrong, she whispered. About everything. We're so proud of you, Sage. And so sorry. It wasn't absolution. It was a beginning. I nodded. I know. As the mountains turned lavender in the dusk, I realized the best revenge isn't destruction. It's growth. They had to watch me become the woman they never helped me be. And for the first time, the moon outshone the sun without even trying.